question was about free will. I mean, his question was, what explains the first sin? And he was thinking like the available options are something like ignorance of the consequences, coercion, or something like they were created a defect or something.
Peanut butter.
Right?
Yeah,
Is
that's
James
not like
here?
that's not a new question. So like, yeah, you're asking essentially what accounts for their choice to choose to sin. I believe like even I think Anselm tried to answer. I think he even said he didn't know. Like he didn't have. It was a mystery. So that's not a problem. So there's no definite answer that I
Well,
could give.
I just
What
want to
accounts for
say that I think that Christianity has and can continue to help our society be better citizens, whereas atheists believe that, I don't know, that they're gonna build this utopia where people are just gonna love each other and all that. And I just what we're seeing in society is that we have everything. I mean, here in America, we have internet, we have running water, we got electricity, we got education, public education. We got all kinds of stuff going on. And yet, as a society, we've demoralized. And what's happening now? Like, where does the bar go? Like, for example, marriage is destroyed as the family unit is gone. Now you have, the
Are you going to
LGBT.
mod this?
What are you babbling
Huh?
about, dude?
Dude, look again. JRobin's got 4%. It's probably 3% now. Can we get back to the topic?
What? What's the
Yeah, let's get
topic?
to the
I thought
topic.
we were
Anyways,
talking
I think the idea is that JRobin is that, I mean, I wouldn't don't take my rendering of the argument as like exhaustive. I'm just trying to like kind of give a framework.
Yeah, I mean that was the
I
answer.
think it
I
was
don't
about like
know what
free
accounts for
will
the
or
choices.
something like that.
Yeah,
No, but
I'm familiar with that question.
that's part of what's interesting. But I think the other part of it is it's kind of the thing is that there's a problem with each of the possible responses, right? For example, if it's the case that they were ignorant, then why would they be culpable for something that?
Yeah, moral accountability. I know. I'm familiar with that. Like, the point is that I don't know the origin of the choices. I don't know what accounts.
Yeah, but you would deny that there's a problem with any of the options, though, right?
With any of the options, not necessarily. I don't know how the way that God chooses to hold people accountable is up to Him. My personal problems with that are simply that, my personal problems.
Are we having a conversation about Adam and Eve?
We're having a conversation about free will and moral culpability.
Free will.
Yeah, but you do believe that there's a fact of the matter about what is just and what's not, right?
Yes.
Okay, and
justice is punishing evil.
Right.
Things that go against God's precepts. That's what justice is.
Yeah, but so like if it was the case that they were coerced or something like that, you think that they should be held accountable for something that they were coerced to do?
God does not cause people God does not make people sin in like that direct way. So
that's another one of the options, is that they were made to do that because they did it, right? If they didn't have a sin nature, then they couldn't have done it, right?
They were made with a sin nature, and they chose to do that.
No.
They were made with a sin nature, or is it? I just want to get this on record.
Human beings were made with sin in nature. Yeah.
Adam and Eve were created from the rip with a sin nature. Is that correct?
No, okay, I misunderstood. I said human beings in general, right? I don't know. Adam and Eve were tempted. Beings. No. We're talking about human beings after the fall, Tom.
I'm talking about Adam and Eve, and I've always
said in general
about Adam and Eve.
Okay, well, Adam and Eve were created in a perfect world.
I guess you just misunderstood. That's fine. So just to be clear, Adam and Eve were created with a sin nature, yes or no?
No, they didn't have a sin nature.
Okay, so how does something without a nature to sin?
Well, they were tempted. They had a choice to do that. They were not created. They were not created in a world of sin. Right, that's not the kind of world they were born into. But they did have the choice to sin, and they did choose to sin eventually.
Yeah, because that's part of their nature. They have the ability to sin, right?
They had the ability to sin, but that's not the same as being born. That's not the same as human beings today, where they're born with a disposition towards sin, where they have a fleshy nature that has a disposition towards sin.
Some of us are now being accused of having born as being.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like if you say it's God's nature to not lie because it's his nature, like he can't do it, right? I understand that. I don't understand what you mean by it's like, oh, they had a sin nature. It seems like you are saying they have a sin nature. They just, which means that they can sin.
I'm not saying. No, I'm not saying that they have a sin nature. Is and saying that they can sin are not mutually inclusive with each other. Okay, they can sin. They did not have the nature of sinning in the fallen world that we have today. It's not what they had. They had the ability to sin.
You're just saying that they didn't have like the proclivity. You're just saying that they didn't have our proclivity to sin, but they did have a nature to sin.
I don't know. What do you mean they had a nature to sin?
I mean,
saying they have a sin nature is to say that they have this proclivity as human beings to sin. That doesn't mean that they didn't like. So when I say that they could sin, I'm not saying that they have the sin nature that I'm talking about when I'm talking about our human.
Yeah, I'm talking about nature in the context of like anything it's possible for one to do.
That's not what I'm saying then.
But
then you're not responding to what
I
said.
Like him saying it's a tendency to sin. Well, Adam and Eve. Well, at least Eve was tempted, right? So it was within her nature. How do you desire something without a tendency towards it? I don't really understand that.
I don't even know I don't even understand the question you're asking.
I mean, you said
they had the ability to sin. They were presented with the ability to sin, or they were presented with the choice to sin, and they chose the choice to sin. That was it.
Well, I'm trying to understand what you're saying. So, you're saying that a sinful nature is a disposition to sin, something like that, right?
They have a proclivity towards sinning. Yeah.
Yeah, like a tendency towards. And then Eve had a tendency towards eating the apple. So what's the difference?
I don't. What do you mean she had a tendency towards eating the apple?
Well, you're saying she was tempted.
She's tempted by it and did it. So that's
yeah, she did it. I don't know. I wouldn't call it a tendency to do it.
Wait. But she was tempted.
I'll say that she did do it.
Let's be clear.
She was tempted to do it. Yes.
Yeah, she was tempted.
Yeah.
I mean, just as like everyone else is tempted towards sin or something like that, and that counts to you as sinful nature. So I don't see what the difference would be.
No, that's not what I said.
Wait, you don't.
The mere being tempted to sin is not a sinful. That's not what I described. That's not how I define sinful nature.
But were her reasoning faculties working properly when she ate the fruit?
What do you mean by that?
I have to explain that.
Yes.
Her brain and reasoning, inferencing, reasoning.
Are you asking? Did she come to the? Are you asking? Did she come to the right conclusion?
In the space in her cranium, right? Were her reasoning faculties working properly?
Yeah. So you just repeated the same.
No, I didn't. I gave lots of synonyms.
So you just said is her brain working properly? Is a space between her cranium working, or space between her skull working properly?
Reasoning, inferences.
Okay, so that's not really a substantive thing for me to go off of. Are you asking about the conclusion that you drew? Was that a correct conclusion? What are you asking here about her reasoning?
Like if someone says 2 + 2 is 7.
Yeah, that's an example. That's not a definition.
Properly. Yeah, well, I tried giving you a definition. You rejected it.
You didn't give a definition. You said the space between your skull. That doesn't tell me anything.
An ability to make inferences.
So was she making inferences?
Yeah. Well, do you think that if she looks at a bush and it's rustling, that she would know that there's like an animal in it? I mean.
Well, that's not a definition. It's a definition of reasoning properly that she has the ability to make inferences.
Yeah, and I take like what I just gave as an instance of ability to make inferences. What's so hard about
She came to the wrong conclusion. She came to the wrong conclusion about eating the tree.
Right, but in virtue of her
or eating of the tree.
In virtue of her mental faculties not working properly?
She was created with the ability to sin. And that's what happened. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, but was it in virtue of her mental faculties not working properly?
I don't know what you mean mental faculties not working properly. It's just a fact. It was a fact of the matter that she did not sin, or that she did sin, and that she did not come to the right conclusion.
It means that her reasoning was valid, right? There's no error in logic.
Well, there's an error insofar as the conclusion that she drew was incorrect. My phone is ringing. I have like 1% battery left on my phone.
But that could be via coercion. That could be via many things. I'm just asking. That could be. There's many explanations as to why she came to the incorrect conclusion, right? I'm asking, is it?
He's running.
I'm just asking whether or not it is the fact that she came to the wrong conclusion because of a failure of her reasoning faculties.